All right. Peace and blessings, everyone. Woohoo. It is Saturday and slightly warmer here in Detroit, but I wanted to it's slightly warmer. Slightly. But I'm here in the space with my amazing client, Lisa Sullivan, who is an intuitive stylist and precognitive empath. And she has said yes to the Sistermind, the 10-month circle of power. And I thought it would be just great to really invite you into what it's like to be in a container with fellow empaths, fellow business owners who have a heart centeredness and really want to do great work in the world, but also have both purpose and profit. And so Lisa and I have worked together in a VIP day container. So without further ado, Lisa Sullivan. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey.
Hey. So, even in your human design, like you are a projector. So I feel like that's like the savvy, consumer. Like you research the thing, it has to make sense. So there's a being
hmm
satisfied with the logic, but also I know you got the creative side. So it's like both have to be satisfied.
Yes.
And we know that this marketplace is flooded with coaches. Everybody's a coach now.
Everybody.
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 Like, you coaching too? Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So I want you to please share with people what made you say yes to this program.
Sure. What I do as an intuitive stylist is really looking at how it makes women of color feel from the inside out. How are we showing up? How are we confidently taking up space in a way that feels good to us, which looks different from other, consultants or people telling you kind of what to do. And I think in that phase of adjusting my business and thinking about it in those terms is that for myself as an empath, an emotional empath, that was really important to help me align my gifts to serve my clients. So I did this program to really help me better figure out how to understand those gifts, how to use them, and how to apply them to my business, how to apply them to my life. Because let's just be real, like you don't show up as an entrepreneur as a different person than you do in these other spaces. So like it's the whole person that needs to be there. So in order for me to show up for my clients in that way, I needed to better understand myself. And then that translates into my business. So doing this program helped me think through like, oh, Rahinda and others in the group can help me think of these systems and filling those gaps, right? Like where are those areas in my business that maybe I have a blind spot, or I could use some additional support. But I think in a group setting, being in community has been really important. And learning from other people who are in the group, other business owners, other coaches, other people that are just, in their element. And I have a lot to learn from that. But that I see there's so much richness and value in the community that, if anybody was on the fence about this, just do it. Like, honestly, like, I know I sounds like, so like, oh, well, here she is, like talking about stuff and just telling her to do it. Like, no, I'm telling you to do it. Like, just do it. Like, and, and you make those decisions, right? And here's the intuition and dropping in that like you make those decisions from an energetic space. And so if it feels right for you, do it. Like, that's it. Like there's like no other way to kind of describe this. And there's some practical things, right, that we learn as business owners, but there are also parts as empaths that your heart's telling you something too, so pay attention.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And so much, I think we can identify with the need for community and like with you said something really key. Drop out of like your head and into like
Mm-hmm.
feel into this. And
Yes.
our intuition has never led us astray. That's something even my mother taught me as at a very early
Yes.
age, go with your first mind. When that thing drops in and it feels right, then I'm inviting you into doing it. And also, Lisa, if you can talk about too, like, we've been in container together with the VIP day. So like,
Mm-hmm.
what were some like standout moments or like some tools that were like real, like practical, like, okay, as soon as I get off the call with Brenda, because you take like the most copious notes, like she's like the furious scribe.
I
Like,
do. We even record it. We record it, and I still take notes.
I
Like
still,
it's just, I still take notes. Um, what was really big for me from an energetic shift was that we would get off the call and I would feel so good. And there's so much energy that just kept going. Like there was just this momentum that came after our discussion and after we were trying to work through things. And then I would get these like little nuggets and little pieces of information that would just drop in. And we were done. We weren't even on the call. And like the momentum just kept carrying me. So there was just this level of excitement that I would feel in the sense that you were just guiding. And some of those tools, one of the things that we've talked about, as an emotional empath, you feel a lot and you end up taking on a lot of what other people are kind of putting out there, right, wrong, or indifferent. And that can be really draining. So one of the tools that you help me use and work through, which has been brilliant, is putting sea salt and water in a dish, to basically put it in between myself and the computer, the phone, the call, whatever it was, to really kind of capture some of that negative energy or just the energy that just wasn't meant for me and that wasn't mine. And that has meant that I can get off of these other calls and not feel emotionally drained, not feel like I am drained of energy and can't do more. So that's one very concrete thing that I've really been able to implement. And I do that every single day, literally every single day. So if I'm on calls with people, that is what is there. And I have this little dish and I'll show it to you right now. It's right here.
aw.
This is it.
Yay!
Nothing exciting about this, but whoo, is this thing
But
very
it works.
powerful. But it
But it
works.
works.
But it works. I think the other concrete thing is just you and I, really you're hearing about your own experience, right? And what led you down this path, and just kind of having those really powerful and impactful insights to share, but it's coming from a place of peace. And it's just coming from a place of just being centered so that you can really help bring other people through that. I think those have been really, really just impactful and important and necessary. I think speaking for myself, or sometimes as an empath, you can feel like you're kind of all over the place, but I think you are helping to kind of bring some of that together, and not kind of getting caught up in the doing all the things, but really like as reassessing, like, do I really need to do that? And how do I come back to center?
Yeah. Oh, that means, well, thank you for that. But also, you, sis, you did the work. And I mean, I want to, so let's even talk about a celebration, a recent celebration that you had with your client. And also moving through some of the mindset stuff, because I think that that's really huge too, is that we get into our heads and think like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I can't charge that. But like maybe some revelations on like, okay, I am going to charge that. And then like, and then like the client like celebration too, as you stood in your power, like what was the transformation that was available for your client?
Well, one of the things that in my business as intuitive styling and intuitive coaching is helping with mindset work. So we do this as individuals, I do this as an entrepreneur, but I also work through some of that mindset work with my clients to get them to a point where they're showing up within their own power and standing in it, but letting their clothes speak for that. So you and I have kind of talked about, allowing clothing to really kind of be their silent partner in life. Well, this is like allowing the confidence to come from within and then kind of pushing that out. So for one of my clients, I got a text message from her and she's like, oh my gosh, I got a promotion. I got a $14,000 raise. She's like, I am on cloud nine, and I'm corresponding with her, and I'm like, I'm in all capital letters because this was over text, all capital letters screaming at you because I am so excited for this. And she said, I am just so grateful to have been in your program, and I've done. To your point, she did the work, right? I was there as a guide and I was there to help within that transition and witnessing the transition, but she ultimately did the work. So for me, hearing that from someone as the guide and coaching her through that, it was like a coach's dream, you know, and to watch the transformation. That's the same sort of transformation I want to see by being in this program and knowing that it's myself, but that transformation that happens for me translates to the business, then translates to my clients. So these client wins, like it's like over and over and over again, like rinse and repeat on the client wins. But the point is that level of transformation that she was able to make really created this it's another jumping off point, that the confidence that she was able to bring forth, the mindset shifts and narrative change that she told herself about her own style, about how she showed up, those are really the same things that I want to translate by being in this program. Is like, what are the other shifts that I make, you know, as the business owner to be in better service?
Yeah. And that's so essential. And I think that
Yeah.
as empaths too, you know, you and I have talked about a lot about, and many of my clients, we are consistently talking about legacy,
Mm-hmm.
consistently in
Mm.
conversation about agency
Yeah.
and permission as women, and particularly as women of color, to get
Yes.
up and just do whatever I want to do. So if you could speak into that visioning piece and how you're giving yourself permission to be freer than I think we've ever had in the history of this country, like the
Yes.
freedom that we have available. How are you taking advantage of it?
Hmm. It's a good question. Well, for one, when we talk about leaving a legacy, I have a son. We have a son. He's 3 years old. And it's very important that he sees his mother in a way that is whole and full and acknowledged, um, and pursuing her dreams, because then that means that the legacy left behind for him is that he is full and whole and human and valued and worthy. All of those things, right? The other piece of what I want leaving behind in the legacy and like this big mission and those big things, capital B big, is really contributing to just the collective growth as women and women of color, because for a very long time, like, you know, we haven't been seen or acknowledged or been able to take up the space. And it's really getting back to giving ourselves permission. So this is in the form of like moving it forward, right? um, Building legacy in a sense that I can be generous to those organizations and those charities and nonprofits that speak to my heart, that are near and dear to me, but in a way that is transformative change and sustainable transformative change. So this is, yes, it's the business. Yes, it is this coaching. Yes, it is service, but it's so much bigger. It's so much bigger than that business. And I'm really kind of I'm the conduit to some of that work. And I can bring other people along with me.
That's right. That's right. Well, I am just so grateful that you took some time out today to
You're
share your journey,
welcome.
your
You're so
story.
welcome.
Yay! And
So
March 4th,
welcome.
it is going down. So if you're on the fence about this, please DM me. Let's have a conversation about it. This
Yes.
is it's a very small community, you know, and it's small with intentionality. I want each woman to feel like you're being seen,
Yes.
heard, felt, understood,
Yes.
and some amazing guest coaches that are coming in. I mean, we have podcasting coaches, a television producer to help you with the structure of your email, how to get your story. I think that that's also important. And you and I have talked
Yes.
about this too. Like, you can talk about everybody else's business, but when it comes to your own, like really getting that message dialed in, it can be so difficult. And then,
Yes.
yeah, and we talk about
Yes.
this, you know, in our container that as an
Yes.
empath is like you're feeling certain things and you know, you could coach yourself, but then there's blind spots. So if you could even share like in our recent session, we talked about like,
Yeah.
okay, why didn't I see that? So like so many
Whew,
smart
yeah.
women, but it's like your degree, you can't think your way through this.
You know, one of
Yeah.
the blind spots that we talked about was content, right? Like these are the pieces of information that you're bringing yourself in and like letting people in and having them get to know you. And it's like my brain does not go to, the conversations I have with clients using that as content. Like it just did not occur to me that I was like, oh yeah, I guess I probably should use what they're saying to me and using that to really drive some of the messaging. It just didn't come to me. And I think it was just whatever day that we had that conversation, it was just like, oh, I didn't really think about that in that way. But it also was, content is like, that is not my zone of genius. So that's another thing with this with this group and doing this work is trying to help you identify like what are the things that need to be offloaded to other people where you have a voice and you are a consultant in that and it's still you, but that it's important just energetically that someone else needs to, what are the things that need to be offloaded off of your plate? And that one thing of that content and that blind spot, it may seem obvious to other folks, but it was not obvious to me that I could use that information from conversations to drive some content.
Yeah. And it's that mirror,
Yep.
having that person that's outside of you that can help reflect back to you, hear things you can't hear, even though that's your empathic gifts to hear everything else, right? That people are not saying, but it can be because you can't see yourself. This is why we have mirrors. So yeah. And I just, again, so grateful. Drop me a DM if you feel called. And I hope that you do because we have big work here to do on the planet. And being in our individual silos, that leads to so much self-deprecation, to doubt because you don't have ideas to bounce off. Or again, that safe space because we're coming as whole humans. So, with our children, with our lovers, with our work, with our whatever.
That's right.
Come with it.
Yes.
And find that this well fills you back up so that you can get back on your feet and do the work that you've been called to do. So
do it.
Do it. You heard it here. Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
Here it is. Do it. Do it.
Okay. So, look, it's time to authentically live your best life. Honor your natural energetics so that you can show up boldly. So start on March the 4th. That means it's this Thursday. You're doing a count. Come on, sis is doing a countdown.
Countdown, everybody.
Countdown. So I'm so excited to be offering this program and listen to your heart. If this is calling out to you, let's have a conversation about it. So until next time, I will see you soon. Lisa, girl, see you on Thursday.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. I know, me too. This is it.